Sim Sculpting Sundays. Today is actually a bit special in that I am doing one of my first requests here on the channel. Somebody requested that I do, I don't know, words are hard. But I do the Lost Boys from the movie that came out in the 80s. I was really excited about this one, but it took me a really long time to actually get the gumption to do it. Not because I didn't want to make The Sims, but because after looking at a couple pictures of Kiefer Sutherland as David, I realized that he just gives me strong Phase 2 Sims template vibes. Like, look at his face. He looks very closely similar to that. Like, throw a pompadour on him, give him black hair, green eyes, he could be Don Lothario. Like, it was a bit much, so I was less excited to do him, but I decided to just get him out of the way first. And that's who we're making currently, is David. Like I said, I'm going to break this up into two just because it was going to get a little bit long if I did all 4 of them at once, and I like to keep these Sunday videos pretty short, pretty sweet, pretty simple. I ran into a lot of issues though with my editing software. For whatever reason, the actual program that I use to edit and record the audio like I'm doing right now just decided that it didn't like my audio. Didn't recognize it. Every other thing that I had was recognizing the audio, but not this. So I had to reinstall it, and I had to do it. It was a nightmare. But thankfully I'm going to be able to get this out on time, which is actually going to be posted tomorrow, but it's super late right now. Because, yeah, I finally am through my backlog of videos. I had quite a few. I literally was a month ahead of schedule, and just with the way work's been going, I'm glad that I was, because I don't have any time. Like, I just worked 4 days, 40 hours. I get 1 day off, and then I'm going to work 4 more days and 40 hours, but then I'm finally going to get some days off in a row, I think 5. So I will be able to start recording then. I'm going to try not to get behind. I'm trying to think of what I have scheduled. I think I have another ABC build coming up, and then obviously unlocking the Uberhood. That's going to be starting soon. I've mostly been downloading for the Uberhood, which has been fun, but yeah, I don't have nearly enough modern CC, so that'll be an adventure. And I also realized I have downloads because I'm using my medieval folder as a base, and then I was like, well, I'll just delete the defaults and, you know, delete the body shop like clothing and delete the build mode stuff. Yeah, no, I've got defaults somewhere because there was a horse and carriage. And I was like, okay, well, that happened. But anyways, I'm just working on, like I said, David's face. He does have really interesting eyes. They're kind of slanted a little bit, like in the corners. The outer corner goes down, and then like the inner corner goes up, which was interesting. But and he does have an interesting mouth, which that was kind of fun. But yeah. Also, I did not put in. I was gonna go on a CC hunt to have the right 80 CC for them, but I didn't want to. I'm gonna be honest. So I just kind of put in similar hair and just kind of put in the medieval equivalent of clothing. But I really like his nose too, now that I'm looking at it. And I think I got a pretty good likeness using sliders without having to use, like, basically makeup or face paint. I know a lot of Sims on Mod the Sims, like, back in the day, like, they would look identical, but it was because it was so many, like, layers of makeup and things, where if you took it all off, you wouldn't even recognize who they were supposed to be. And part of that was just because you couldn't get certain facial features, so with sliders, you can. Like, that mouth, I really genuinely don't think you could get without using sliders. And now you can. I did look through just to see if I had any interesting bits of CC that I wanted to plunk on him. Let's see, I go through a little bit of hair, and then I realize I'm like, I know I don't have a mullet. I know that I don't. I was hoping that I did, but I knew that I didn't. So I just made sure to give him like that really platinum blonde. I haven't actually seen The Lost Boys in a really long time. I was trying to think of the last time that I saw it, and it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Okay, and now we're on Paul. I had to actually Google which one was which because I couldn't remember who was who. I honestly just went in the order of an image that I found. But I will say Paul is probably not my favorite either. Mostly just because I like to make Sims that have really interesting or odd facial features. And the guy who played Paul is just pretty. He's pretty, and there's nothing wrong with being pretty, but it's a little boring to make. The next two, I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but they have a lot more interesting features, so I was excited to make them, but I made these guys first. I'm trying to think of things to say. I really don't have too much to say today. I'm a little burnt out from working so much, it must be said, and when I'm not working, I'm packing, and I've actually been watching a lot of Croft's dog show, because it's relaxing and I don't have to think about anything. I could just watch some little collie just bark the entire time they run an agility course, or fly ball, and it's just no stress. That's my kind of sports event, because I definitely needed it. If I thought I could get away with it at work, I probably would watch it while I was at work. But it's just this side of too distracting that I'm like, okay, I better not. But thankfully, all my hard work is paying off, because part of why I'm working so much is I want to make sure that I can afford to hire movers, because I'm tired of moving all of my books. I love my books dearly. I'm not going to get rid of them, but I have a lot of books, and they're heavy, and I don't want to move them. And I also have, like, bookshelves with glass doors, and, like, a hall tree with a big mirror on it that's an antique, and I don't want to be responsible for moving those things. So I want to pay someone to do it for me, because I'm lazy. Kind of like how I get my groceries delivered, because I don't like walking up the stairs. I told someone that the other day, and they're like, you get your groceries delivered? I'm like, it's $15 and I'm willing to pay the laziness tax. Like, that's what it is, and I'm willing to pay it. And I make sure I tip really well. I always at least do 10%. So when I make somebody walk up the stairs, then I might as well pay them for it. That said, every time I get a mail delivery driver, like, part of me is just like, he's gonna get lost, because the apartment complex I live in is just, it's a maze, and what's worse is they decided to build the equivalent of 2 identical complexes right next to each other, and they're attached by a road, so you don't really know which one's which. And yeah, so they always go to the wrong building at first and tell me that I'm wrong. And then they try to argue with me about directions for like 20 minutes, and then finally they find my apartment, and still somehow they're the right one. So, like, I'm aware that sounds judgy, but that's just been my experience of two years of deliveries now. It started during COVID. And every single time it's a guy, I'm like, oh gosh, oh no. Whereas I've never had any trouble when it's like a female delivery driver, or like a couple that does it, like, they will find my apartment immediately. Oh, I guess I shouldn't be making assumptions. Anybody can be anything these days, which is a good thing. Like, I feel like there's too much pressure to be one thing or the other. Honestly, if I had to pick something, I probably would be like, yeah, I just don't want a gender. Can I just not have one, please? Thank you. Oh, I was really excited about this. So I have these chin makeup things. This is something I can actually talk about The Sim. I had these little, like, wiggly chin things, because he did have that. This is a little bit darker than I wanted, but, like, it is perfect, and that is not a feature that I could get with sliders, so I was really excited to have that. I do think I got pretty close to what he looked like, and I did have some equivalent crazy 80s hair in my Meetable folder, so it worked out. Overall, I'm pretty happy with both of them. Next Sunday we'll see the remaining Lost Boys, and yeah, definitely glad I got a request, because sometimes I don't know who to make, and this was fun. I enjoyed it. So thank you guys so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like down below, and I will see you in the next one.